Today we are going to lift this Hiace, and we are going to be lifting it with the JDM Off-road suspension. So what we have are a couple springs for the rear, and we have 4 KYB shocks, 2 for the front, 2 for the rear obviously. The front has torsion arms that we can adjust, so that's why we don't have replacement springs for it. These springs don't have any part numbers on them. I imagine they are something that's commonly available in the US that just happens to fit a Hiace and lift it. I'm not entirely positive on that, but like I said, there's no markings on them, so I don't know what they came from specifically. Maybe they're gonna raise the van. What we'll do first, we'll get some measurements from hub center to the bottom of wheel arch to see how much this kit actually lifts it. And then we'll take it for a little ride. We got some little off-road area just down the street from us. We'll check it out how it performs on off-road. So on the back, about center to hub to the bottom of the wheel arch is about, let me get this centered here, looks like probably 16 and a quarter. 16 and a quarter. And on the front, center to the bottom of that wheel arch is about 17 and 3/8. So we'll see with this new lift what we're going to get with it. So here are the old springs compared to the new springs. You have about 2 inches in height difference in the spring height. Here are them laying down. So that was pretty quick. Simply just support the vehicle, remove the shocks, or disconnected the shocks, disconnected the sway bar, and the axle was able to droop and the springs pulled right out. So we'll see if these new springs go in just as easily. And we'll have to get the old shocks out, get that all buttoned up, and go from there. To get to the rear shocks, you have to remove this rear panel. It goes across here, 5 screws, it pulls right off. Just pull the carpet back and remove these little covers, and that accesses the top of your shocks. So you can unbolt them, get them out, put the new ones in. All right, I got the back finished up. Getting ready to work on the front. So on the front, I got it jacked up to relieve some pressure on the torsion bars. But essentially what you're gonna do, here's your torsion bar, and let me grab some light real quick. There you go, that's better. So anyways, you're gonna undo that bottom jam nut, which is a 22 millimeter, and then the nut up top, you're gonna tighten it. And when we tighten it, it's going to turn that torsion bar that goes all the way down to the front suspension, and it's going to assist in cranking that up. So anyways, we'll tighten that up. There's one on the other side, but there's a plastic cover you have to remove. So once we get that plastic cover removed, we'll crank it up. And most people will turn it a certain amount of turns each side and then see how much it lifted up. I'm probably just going to crank it out to the max and get the shocks installed, put it all back together and see where it stands. And if I need to lower it a little bit to level the van out, then I'll do it that way.
here it is finished up. I also put on some new tires and wheels. These are 16-inch wheels off a 2nd gen Tacoma, like a TRD off-road. And then we also installed some 235/70 R16 Toyo tire Open Country A T3s. So they got pretty good looking tread on them. The tire and wheel combo is 2-inch larger in diameter than the wheels and tires that were stock on this. So we are getting 1 inch more ground clearance from the tire and wheel combo. And then as far as how much the lift lifted it, that's about 19.5 inches from hub center to the bottom of the wheel arch. And this was at 16.25 originally. So that's 3.25 inch lift pretty much on the back. And then on the front, it was 17 3/8, I believe. And to this bottom of this arch is about 19 3/8, 19.25. So that'd be about 2-inch lift on the front. So the front, I can go up and down a little bit more if I want. I think the stance, I could probably add a little bit more lift in the front, but it looks pretty level. I mean, it's about 1/4 inch shorter in the front from hub center to wheel arch. But in general, I think it looks pretty good. Just took it down to the creek, went around in the sand and the rocks, and this thing rides a lot better than it did before. With the wore out suspension, anytime you hit a big bump on the road, it would kind of nosedive and bounce back up. These shocks really absorbed that and kind of lost all of its nosedive that we got. And it rides pretty smooth. So far, I'm pretty happy with it.